Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm kind of just gonna get right on into it. Today's video is going to be sort of a feeding vlog of me feeding some of my pets. It's not going to be every pet I own. This isn't like a feeding on my pets video or anything, but I just needed to feed some pets today and I thought that I would vlog it all for you. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna feed whoever needs to be fed. So without further ado, let's just, go ahead and start feeding some animals. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? So Lex is right in there just basking. So we're gonna start by feeding her her salad. So in here there's some collard greens, some butternut squash. It kind of looks like cheese, but I promise it's not cheese, it's squash. And some red pepper dusted with Reptile calcium without D3. So yeah, let's go and feed her. Oh, she's very excited. Look, the food is over here. I know, it's not what you want, but you have to eat it. There we go. Lex is a pretty good eater, thankfully. She eats her veggies. She likes being hand-fed. She's spoiled. Oh, she's hesitant of the pepper. This is only her second time being offered bell peppers. She didn't eat them the first time, so I don't know if she'll eat them this time, but I know she likes her collard greens, and then she also likes squash, so she should eat both of those, but who knows if she'll eat the peppers. You wanna try a pepper? I guess she does not want to try the pepper. You just really like collard greens, don't you? What about some squash? Her just only wanting to be hand-fed. Why are you so spoiled? Look, there's all kinds of food in front of you, and you only want to eat it if I put it in front of your face. Oh, no, there we go. So I got her this big hornworm. She loves hornworms, this treat, so she's gonna be real excited about this, aren't you? She loves hornworms so much. Oh, was that good? So then in here we have Pascal, my Build Chameleon's cage. His cage is kind of a mess right now. I absolutely hate it. I plan on redoing it soon. I have a ton of plants over there, so hopefully it'll be looking a lot better shortly. But let's go ahead and feed him now. So I also got him a nice big hornworm as a treat. He loves hornworm, so I'm just going to place the hornworm in his food dish and then he will come and eat it. And then I'm also going to take some of my crickets and free roam them throughout the cage. Now, despite this cage being super, super large, he has no problem hunting his food. He's a really, really good hunter. I've basically been free feeding him since he was a tiny baby when I first got him. So he's really good at hunting his food. So I'm just going to shake out some crickets in here. This is so hard to do with one hand. And there he goes. He now has food to go and hunt. So I got this tiny hornworm to feed to Sushi. Sushi's the only one of my leopard geckos who actually will eat hornworms. Pepper and Alani both don't have any interest in them, so I only got this one for Sushi. And then we're gonna feed some of the other geckos as well. This isn't Sushi's only meal, by the way. This is just a little treat for her. So Sushi's hanging out up there on her Universal Rocks ledge, which she adores. She's up here all the time, so I'm gonna get a pair of tongs and then feed her the worm. You're crazy. Sushi loves her hornworms, don't you? Was that good? Did you enjoy it enough to jump off your rocks? So Pepper and Alani aren't going to be eating tonight. Those are my other two leopard geckos. They don't eat as often as Sushi because Sushi's the youngest out of all of them. Pepper, on the other hand, is 8 years old. And Alani's around a year old, so she's young too, but she's still not eating as frequently as Sushi, so they're not going to be fed tonight, but we're gonna go ahead and give Sushi a few more worms and then feed some of the other animals. And by worms, I mean crickets, because that's what we're feeding tonight. You guys probably know I do tend to feed my animals a good variety of different insects, but tonight we're doing crickets, so we're gonna go ahead and shake out some crickets in some of my animals' cages. So Sushi just had her hornworm as a treat, but then we're also gonna give her a couple crickets. Just shake a few out. I only want to give her a couple because, like I said, she should just eat that hornworm. And then she can hunt those. I really like free feeding my animals crickets every now and then and letting them hunt them rather than tongue feeding them, because I think it can be really, really good enrichment for them to allow them to hunt their own food sometimes. So we're gonna let her do that. And then moving right down here is Daisy's cage, my African fat-tailed gecko. We're gonna shake out a couple crickets in here for her as well. And I don't know if she's awake quite yet. It is the evening, but the lights haven't gone out yet or anything, so I don't know if she'll come out to eat them yet, but I really wish she would because she's like super adorable when she eats. But anyway, so we're gonna put those in there and then let her hunt those. Right up here is Avery's cage, my Chihuahua gecko. You can see him right over here. So we're gonna go ahead and give him some crickets, and then we're also going to give him some powdered diet in a little bit, but I like to give them some insects. Really good for them, nice protein, especially for a growing gecko, so I just put a few in there and he'll come and eat them. And then we will also put some in Chaos, my Leachianis cage. And Mark is hanging out on the glass right there, but he's going to get some crickets. Also, as I was saying, it's kind of cricket night for everyone, so I'm kind of just letting them all hunt for their crickets as opposed to tongue feeding. So we'll shake some out in here. This is like way harder to do them with one hand than it would seem. And there we go. There is Mark's crickets. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day. And then crickets for Derek. Yay. That was kind of a fail, but it's all right. There's crickets in there now. And lastly, Dorito. So Dorito's right here, looking very, very strange. That's a very strange position. Oh, he ran. I want to point out also, Dorito is a bit overweight currently, which is something that I'm working on. At first, when I noticed he was overweight, I was under the impression that I should not feed insects, but then I did a bit more research on it and overweight geckos, and I came to the conclusion that it's actually better to feed things like crickets because he has to, you know, chase them and work for them, as opposed to a powder diet where he just walks to his feeding ledge and eats it. So I've been cutting back on his powder diet, and then I will feed him crickets. I still don't feed them super often. Again, he only gets them occasionally, but it's a good way for him to have to work for his food. So I'm going to go ahead and feed him a few crickets. There, so all of the geckos are fed now, at least all the geckos that are being fed for the night. So now we can move on to preparing the powdered diets for all of my geckos who eat them. Okay, so here I have some feeding cups for my geckos, and I have some foods. I'm using 2 different ones, and then also some calcium. Because of the fact that I have multiple different species that have different requirements, I don't just use like one food for everyone. I like to, you know, pick ones best suited for the particular animal I'm feeding. So this is everything I'm going to be using tonight. I also want to point out, a lot of people have like pointed out to me before about using like reusable or disposable or biodegradable feeding ledges over the plastic ones, which is something I definitely want to do. So I ordered some reusable ones before, and then they ended up being way too big for my feeding ledges. Despite being online, it said that they were the size I need, and then they came in and weren't. So now I'm looking to buy the biodegradable ones by Reptile, by the way, or by Pangea. By the way, this is the grubs and fruit. So this one I'm going to be feeding to my Chihuahua, my lychee, and also my rescue crested gecko, because this one is a bit higher in protein, so it's good for the ones who need to, you know, grow a little bit and have higher protein requirements and whatnot. But yeah, back to the cup. So now I'm looking to get those biodegradable ones that Pangea came out with. I haven't yet found somewhere in Canada that sells them. If you guys know of anywhere that does, please let me know, because I would love to be able to buy them here. But even if I can't find them here, I'm going to Arizona in like 2 weeks, and I plan on ordering some while I'm there. Oh, that's a little bit too much. And I plan on buying like the bulk size of them. You can buy 2,500 of them in bulk, so I'm going to be doing that, so that even if I can't find somewhere in Canada that sells them, I'll have them to last me for a while. So yeah, I plan on doing that, because I really don't like having to use these plastic ones. I think the biodegradable ones are so much better. So I'm really excited to get those and to be able to stop using these ones. So hopefully by the next time you guys see me feeding my geckos, I will have my biodegradable ones. I'm actually going to take a little bit out of this one, because as I mentioned, I've cut Doritos powder food feedings down because of his weight. He also, most of my other geckos I feed every 2 days, and Doritos now only getting fed every 4 days, so his feedings are cut back to help him lose some weight. He has lost around 5 grams so far, which is really good, but he definitely still needs to lose some more. And then I also add a tiny bit of extra calcium into my Chihuahua's food, because the calcium is important for them. So I did that, and then also he got some insects sprinkled with calcium. So these are my food dishes now. So this one here will be for my Chihuahua, Avery. These two are the same, they're just grubs and fruit. Reptile, which will be for my Leachianus Chaos, and then my rescue crested gecko, whose name I have not yet announced. These two here will be for Derek, my gargoyle gecko, and Mark, my day gecko, and then here we have this one for Dorito. Now I just have to add some water into them and stir it up. Okay, so now all of the food is mixed up. My Mist King is actually about to go off in 2 minutes, so I'm going to wait until that goes off to put all the food in, just so that way I don't like put the food in and then have it get all wet from the Mist King. I just went and put all of the food up here while I wait for the Mist King to go off. But while I'm waiting, I will take my rescue crested gecko's food in, because he is in my bedroom in quarantine, so he's not hooked up to the Mist King system. So we can go and bring him his food, and then we will come back and do all the rest. Oh, and there it goes. The Mist King is now going off. So I don't know if I showed this on video before, but I got a Mist King system hooked up. It's hooked up to multiple different cages, so there's, you know, Doritos cage, Derek's cage, Mark's cage, my Amazon tree boa cage, Viper's cage, then we have Chaos's cage and Avery's cage. So these are all on an automatic misting system, so I have the water reservoir to it right there, along with the timer, and the pump is down on the ground and then pumps through these tubes here. I just recently got this set up and I am in love. It's so convenient just having everything misted all at once, just automatically. I don't have to, you know, hand mist them anymore, which is super awesome, and it helps to water the plants and everything as well, which is super, super neat. I have this set off to go it goes off a total of 10 times per week. So it goes off at least once every day, and then 3 days a week it goes off twice a day. So yeah, that's just how I have it set up. It's been working well for me. And I mean, if I have to change it, like if I have to, you know, like change it back so that it's just once a day, every day, I can do that. It's super, super awesome. It's like fully adjustable and everything, so I really, really love that. So yeah, just wanted to show off my Mist King. Okay, so I went and I put the food dish in my rescue crested gecko's cage over here in his quarantine cage. You can see his head up top there. If you guys watched my video where I introduced him and talked about him, you probably remember that I said I ordered him a feeding lead. Basically, I don't know what's going on with that. I ordered it and it has not yet shown up. I don't really know why, because that was like 2 weeks ago and usually they show within a few days, so I'm gonna have to look into that. But he is eating just fine down on the ground, so I'm not too worried, but hopefully I will get his feeding ledge soon because I definitely want to feed him up higher. But for now, you know, he's still getting his food. I've been monitoring him. He's eating and pooping and everything, so he's doing really well so far. So yes, there is his food. Okay, all of the misting has gone off now, so I can now go ahead and give everyone their food. So here I have Doritos, and then I will move on to Derek and Mark. And we'll get Avery's food in here. And lastly, Chaos's. So that's essentially everyone who's being fed in my reptile room for tonight. None of the snakes are being fed tonight. It's not feeding day or anything for them. And as I mentioned, not all of my geckos are eating today. So everyone who does need to be fed has been fed now. So all of the animals are fed now. That's, you know, everyone I was feeding for this vlog. Obviously all my other animals eat as well. I just, you know, this was just a little vlog. I just wanted to vlog myself feeding some pets. So that's what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I would appreciate it a ton. And also be sure to subscribe. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would appreciate it. And check out all of my social medias. They will all be in the description down below. All of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next video.